Another week, another round of culture wars. At a time where Arizonans are facing a massive drought and a water crisis, where we have fires burning in the north part of our country, where everyday Arizonans are losing their homes and living on the streets, including children, by the way. We're instead talking about, guess what?
Drag queen shows.
This week, in case you missed it, the Arizona GOP came out with a joint statement discussing drag shows, specifically a drag show that took place at the Heard Museum, at some school. And I decided to unpack this in the latest grab bag of culture war topics that are happening really all over the United States. So this statement condemns non-discrimination policies, for one, which I find strange, and says that we should not disregard morals and values just to normalize these unscientific, broad, ill-defined, and subjective terms. And that the GOP will be damned if they won't fight like hell to protect the most innocent from these horrifying and disturbing trends. Horrifying and disturbing trends of non-discrimination and protecting our most marginalized communities? That's a weird take, but that's what's happening. So several senators in the Arizona State Senate addressed this joint statement on the floor on Monday, and Senator Stahl Hamilton gave a brief history lesson on drag.
There is nothing new happening. Drag is a historically celebrated art form that shaped every aspect of entertainment we consume today.
She pointed to the fact that drag has its origins in ancient Greece and in Roman culture because women were deemed unworthy to participate in dramatic productions. This practice continued during medieval times because the Catholic Church wanted to keep women in their place. She commented that these current culture wars are cruel and lazy, and that's kind of been the theme with the GOP this year. The cruelty seems to be the point. And lazy? Don't even get me started about some of these bills. That drag won't be the downfall of society, Senator Hamilton goes on, and that her colleagues need to get back to work for everyday Arizonans.
We need to stop feeding people short-term cultural wars to disguise the fact that this legislature is overwhelmingly failing to provide for our families and future.
Senator Rios came up and spoke shortly afterwards.
Just last year, the FBI released a report acknowledging that hate crimes motivated by gender identity bias jumped by nearly 20% for the second year in a row.
No doubt because of people like Ethan Schmidt, who have been vocally targeting Target stores because of their merchandise for Pride Month. So during Pride Month, the Arizona legislature, the House and Senate, are focused not on the needs of everyday American Arizonans. They're not on the needs of everyday Arizonans. They're on the needs of culture wars. So, of course, Senator Gray needed to get up, and he said he was appalled about the twisting of his words and about the history lesson that he just received. He doesn't like history, apparently. He says it's about protecting children who are transgendering themselves, whatever that means, but then also says that everyone has that choice. This doesn't make sense to me either because there have been several bills this year that take away the choice of transgender youth and of their families to make decisions about their own bodily autonomy and about their own healthcare needs. So where this choice is coming into play, I really haven't seen it yet. He assures us, though, that he has gay friends.
I've got friends that are gay. I have no problem with people that are gay. That's their choice.
Okay. Then, of course, one of our greatest champions for secular government at the Senate, Senator Quesada, chimed in, and he said that the press release is dangerous and risky. I can't agree with you more, Senator. And that if we really want to talk about banning children from really dangerous institutions, let's talk about the French Catholic Church cover-up.
30,000 children were victims of sex abuse within the French Catholic Church alone over the last 70 years. according to a report that was released in 2021. There isn't even a clear estimate of the children that were abused in the American Catholic churches because there is such a security around the cover-up, according to the Boston Globe's breakthrough reporting on this issue. Over 92,000 sexual abuse claims were filed against the Boy Scouts of America before November 16th of 2020. In 2010, a jury ordered that the Boy Scouts pay $18.5 million to a scout who was abused in the 1980s alone. If we care about children, are we paying attention to either one of those things?
He says if we're truly worried about child victimization and abuse, then when will we ban parents from taking children to church or from joining the Scouts? Good point. Unsurprisingly, Senator Leach came up behind him and he blamed the trans children for wanting to participate in Boy Scout activities. And of course, he blamed unwed mothers.
I'm in agreement with the senator from 29. And maybe the senator from 29 will also help me put families back together so we have a father image in families.
Remember, though, he wants to force people to give birth regardless of the circumstances, so that really just doesn't make any sense at all. He essentially wants to create more unwed mothers and more single-parent homes. He expressed concerns for students receiving inappropriate touching, which I'm concerned about as well. We all should be. Something that age-appropriate comprehensive sex ed, or CSE, would address. But he's voted against any discussion of anything related to sex in schools. So which is it, Senator Leach? Do you want to inform kids? Or do you want to keep them in the dark and force them into single-parent households? I don't know about all of you. Is the hypocrisy giving you a headache yet? So I'm hopeful that you will contact your senators, your legislators in the House and the Senate, and tell them exactly what you think of these culture wars, exactly what you think about them trying to indoctrinate our kids into their faith, into these dangerous institutions that have a proven history of hurting children and hurting families. So you can't have one without the other. And we're your voice for the separation of church and state. So go to secularaz.org, go to secularaz.org today, become a member, become a donor, become a monthly donor, become a legacy giver, because we're seeing this happen in real time and we need everyone's help. Stay safe.